Today I'm going to be talking about the TikTok ban. If you don't know, the US government is focusing and has tried multiple times in the past to ban TikTok. If I had to make a video every time this was supposed to happen or was threatened, then I'd have like 4 videos at this point on the topic, because over the past years the US government has tried multiple times to ban TikTok. They see it as Chinese spyware, and that's not even a joke. We've made so many jokes in the past, like people online have just made jokes in the past about TikTok being Chinese spyware, but they literally think this. They think and don't like the idea of China having US citizen data and have seen it as a threat for a long time now. What's interesting about that point is both the US candidates for the 2024 presidential election have made and attempted to use TikTok to help them in their campaigns. And Donald Trump himself said that TikTok possibly won him the younger people's vote and helped him, in the end win the election. Donald Trump also said that he was going to try and make a deal to keep TikTok when he gets into office.
How do you plan to stop the ban on TikTok next month?
Who?
How do you plan to stop the ban on TikTok next month?
We'll take a look at TikTok. You know, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok had something to do with that. Now, Joe Rogan did, and some of the other people that were recommended by my son Barron, he knew names. I said, who is that? Tell me, who's that? Dad, you gotta be kidding. I can't believe you don't know. And I did those interviews, and it was actually sort of cute, if you want to know the truth. But we did them, and that had an impact. But TikTok had an impact, and so we're taking a look at.
He is known as a businessman, so there's a chance that it could work. The ban of the app is supposed to happen Sunday, January 19th of 2025, which should be tomorrow, or at least Sunday, depending on whenever this video is uploaded. But one congressman known as Ed Markey, the senator of Massachusetts, is trying to delay the ban for 270 days. Since the ban happens on the 19th, it's the day before Trump gets back into office. I think Trump could just undo the ban as a president with executive orders, so even if it is banned for a little, there's a chance of it coming back, and a big chance of that. And Trump is now giving the CEO of TikTok VIP seats to his inauguration. So that is good progress on trying to make a deal, or probably what he will do after his inauguration. TikTok is more than just a video app for some people, as for a lot of people it's how they started or grew their businesses to where they are now, and some people of course make living doing videos and doing live streams on there, which are points that Ed Markey, again the senator that is trying to make a delay, tried to make on why they should delay the ban. Sadly though, the attempt to delay the ban has so far been unsuccessful, as Thursday at like 5 p.m. he talked about his appeal getting rejected. But one interesting thing is, congressmen who are for the TikTok ban are also on the TikTok platform itself and have accounts. People have already been downloading off-brand TikTok apps like the Little Red Book, aka Zhao Hongshu, Lemonade, and other apps that are kind of like TikTok. These apps are also possibly getting banned with TikTok as they are owned in China. Americans are joining these apps and calling themselves, quote, TikTok refugees, and a lot of Chinese people don't really want Americans on the platform, or at least don't want them to spread gay and sexual content on it, which is funny and a peek at reality of how other countries look at that type of stuff. The rules on the Little Red Book are pretty strict and pro-Chinese government, and there's a lot of rules that would take out content creators from TikTok, like no gay stuff, be pro-China, no politics, socialist ideology only, no 18 plus or substance content. There's already been people getting mad at Americans and telling them not to talk about gay stuff and even mess with black people. But other than the trolling, the Chinese people on the app have shown what the prices are of groceries over there, and people are starting to realize how bad it is to try and afford anything as an American. Here's that video.
Hey, US government, you have some explaining to do. So I downloaded the Little Red Book and I made a new bestie. We were just talking about the differences and similarities between China and the US, and she ended up going to the market and sent me a picture of her local market. I picked what was familiar to me and what I knew, and that was corn on the cob. I seen that 1 kilogram, which I found out was 2.2 pounds, was 6.90 yen. So I went on Google because it's free, right? And I looked up to see what would that be in US dollars. 94 cents. 94 cents. What would it be here in America, you might ask? When you do the math, $7. Is this what they don't want us to know?
There's also other videos that talk about this in a way, and they're a bit more funny. This one was more serious, but to go on, I already seen videos of people living in China or China-like countries that do videos like showing what they eat in a day or a day in their life, and they really do have it cheaper over there than we have it over here, and it makes me sad and sickened. The Little Red Book is also now trying to set up a new update where Americans are going to be on different servers and can't interrupt the usual Chinese content on the app for the people of that country. There's even a possibility that you could be punished for having TikTok on your phone, whether it's a fine or what, even if you use a VPN if it gets banned, which is kind of interesting, and I don't really know how they would, like, check that. I'm pretty sure it'd be pretty easy to know who has TikTok on their phone or not, but still, there's like millions of Americans, and like getting them all for that would be insane. Some people are trying to say that the government is attempting to ban freedom of speech by taking away TikTok, which I can kind of see their argument, but also it seems like a bit of a stretch. TikTok also helps the economy as billions of dollars are put into it yearly, so it would hurt the US in ways such as the economy and also just hurt businesses and a lot of other stuff. There was also another rule that was snuck into this bill that they are trying to pass to ban TikTok that would let people in government positions still be able to use TikTok and be able to promote US stuff to overseas countries.
So you know how TikTok's getting banned because it's a national security risk? Well, apparently the government only thinks that national security risk applies to the American people and not to the government itself, because it's allowing the government to still use TikTok once the ban gets passed, but not us Americans. According to a leaked document signed by the Secretary of State, the TikTok ban will not apply to certain U.S. department employees responsible for public diplomacy. The government has approved 2 exceptions for who can continue to use the app going forward after the ban gets passed for all Americans on the 19th, and that is the Public Diplomacy Office themselves, as well as contracting digital content creators who focus on foreign audiences to produce and spread content about the Public Diplomacy's department's work. So TikTok's getting banned because of its national security risk that doesn't apply to the government, and mainly because it's Chinese propaganda that influences the minds of Americans, but the only people who will be allowed to use the app going forward is the government, even though it's a national security risk, and contractors, digital creators who push forward the pre-approved message by the U.S. government. If TikTok is such a national security risk, then why is the only entity moving forward that will be able to use TikTok in America the U.S. government? And if propaganda is such a terrible bad thing, then why is the only thing that will come out of the U.S. TikToks going forward pre-approved government messaging? It seems very clear that this is not about national security. This is not about, getting rid of propaganda, but this is about control and controlling what the American people can and cannot see.
Congressmen are also now being exposed for putting stock into Meta or buying stocks in Meta, aka Facebook, which of course is a competitor of the TikTok app. A lot of congressmen are buying stock before the ban is supposed to happen, so on top of being paid to make this decision by lobbyists, they are also trying to get more money out of it by being able to profit from stocks. It's kind of respectable. If you're going to be kind of scummy and stuff, you might as well go all out and try to make some money off of it. And if I was in their position, I would do the same. You might as well maximize your profits.
As we know by now, the Extend TikTok Deadline Act was just shot down in Congress. And a lot of you guys don't know, but I have a finance degree. And I have never made a political video on this app. But after what I just saw Congress do, I'm gonna make one. Because this has nothing to do with the American people. It's about making them a ton of money. And as you guys know, TikTok is in direct competition with Meta, which used to be Facebook. And the thing about Meta is, it's a publicly traded company. And you know who has a lot of money in Meta? Yeah, our Congress. Like Mr. Josh G right here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name, because frankly, you wouldn't even care to learn mine. You have a lot of money in Meta, so let's see how you voted. Oh yeah, you voted to pass the ban. What about my good friend Michael McCall over here? You betcha. How about our old pal Jared right here, who actually very recently purchased a ton of Meta stock? Very coincidentally, right before the TikTok ban. Would you look at that? He voted to ban it too. And the thing is, this isn't a left or right issue. Leaders in Congress from all 50 states just decided to ban this app, which pays for the livelihood of millions of people for our safety, while also cashing in with Meta. And that's only one part of why this whole ban is stupid. Another part is, you put a bill to ban TikTok inside of a humanitarian aid bill so it could rush through Congress. It was never debated on the floor. The Senate never had to hear any witness about it. In fact, you didn't ask any of the people from the United States of America, from your home states that you somehow represent, how it would affect their livelihood. Markey didn't come up and say, we have to reverse it. All he asked was for 270 extra days for the creators to find a job, to find another plan, to find a different way to put food on the table, to provide. In the video, he brings up all of the LA creators are letting us know about the wildfires. They're spreading awareness, different stories. And 175 million Americans use this app. That is over half of all the people that you represent in Congress. But because of their own personal selfishness, wanting to cash a check, wanting to cozy up to each other and climb the ladder, they couldn't care less what the people think about this. But hey, I'm glad your guys' stock portfolios are looking nice.
Mr. Beast has announced he has been in talks with billionaires to try to buy TikTok so it doesn't get banned.
Just got out of a meeting with a bunch of billionaires. TikTok, we mean business. This is my lawyer right here. We have an offer ready for you. We want to buy the platform. America deserves TikTok. Give me a seat at the table. Let me save this platform, TikTok.
And Kick, the streaming service and gambling website associated platform, has also put in a bid for it now as well. There's mixed feelings on Mr. Beast being a possible part owner of the app, and I think it's because he's still pretty hated, which I'll be talking about. I think in a month from now I'll be making a video, which I'll be talking about later about Mr. Beast. But let me know what you all think about Mr. Beast, like possibly owning it or being part owner of TikTok. There's ways they could ruin the app, and one thing that TikTok said that they weren't going to do is that they said that they were never going to give out their like algorithm or like how they, you know, run the app, basically, like the big part of running the app. But TikTok is so powerful that what's the chances of it actually being ruined? Like Elon Musk owning Twitter is like, you know, like a huge deal and stuff, and Twitter's too powerful to be destroyed unless you completely broke it, which, I mean, Elon Musk has just done a fine job, I suppose. I mean, that's kind of controversial, but I mean, Twitter's still up and running pretty well, and now you can profit off of it. America was founded off of hating government control, and now they try to control us more and more. With everything that happened within the past couple of years, the prices of everything going up way too high to where it's nearly unaffordable, all the possibilities and theories about the LA fires and other stuff that has gone on or is currently going on, the American people are like a dog backed up into a corner. Everyone is now tired of how stupid the government can be at times, and are being very public and open about it. And it's interesting that out of everything that would set people off to actually hate their government will be a social media app. I think it's because everyone can agree on the TikTok ban not being kind of the most correct thing. People on both sides of the stick, like, both profit from it and both, like, make money and do jobs and can see how important TikTok can be. Whenever I say hate, I genuinely think people now hate Congress. I'm about to show you all of people going after certain members of Congress because of this TikTok ban.
I got an idea. We all go buy Chinese phones right now. Everybody go buy Chinese phones right now and put Apple out of business.
You telling me January 19th at 12 o'clock TikTok not gonna be on my phone? Are you good? I'm not jacking it. I don't believe that, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even in denial. I just know they not about that, bro. They not finna take this, bro. You know who we got young niggas. You thought them white people that ran up in the Capitol in January of last year was crazy? Don't even worry about it. We got young shiesties. We got the shiesty boys. Talking about it's a national security threat coming from outside the country. Oh, you want a national security threat in the country? Take TikTok off my phone.
Hate is a strong word, and that's exactly why I chose it here. I want you to hate this man. You're not going to be able to hate him as much as I do, but I want you to try. It's important to me that you try. This is Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas, and he is single-handedly responsible for shutting down the bill that would have postponed the TikTok ban for 270 days that Senator Ed Markley brought to the floor. And you're probably thinking, yo, that festering goiterous clown, he looks kind of familiar. He probably does. Remember when they had that hearing and they brought the CEO from TikTok in? This is the dude who didn't know the difference between China and Singapore. How are you one of the people running our country when you don't even know the difference between the other countries? This dude just financially devastated millions of Americans and millions of American small businesses. Here's the move, y'all. He never gets elected again to anything in his life. In fact, he never gets hired again for anything in his life. And I don't care if he slinks his miserable, pathetic ass into an adult shop at midnight trying to get a job mopping up dude's jizz, you tell him no! This message is going directly out to the U.S. Congress and Senate, and even if you're not one of those blood-sucking parasites, you should still stay, because I'm about to say some because I no longer give a if I get banned off this app. Look, I get it. I completely understand. You are all about that money. And when AIPAC and Zuckerberg waved a little bit in front of your face, you immediately decided that you were going to stab your constituents, the American citizens, directly in the back. And then, in fact, when Zuckerberg told you, just invest in some of our stocks after you ban TikTok, and you'll be able to make money hand over fist when people flock back to us. And that's why a lot of creators have decided that they're just going to delete their accounts over there. I'm not going to. Here's why. Because it's now my life goal to be a thorn in your mother side. I know that in your logic, in your tiny little moronic peon brain, you thought, yo, we'll just ban TikTok, and all of those big TikTok creators that are going to be mad about it, they're not going to have any more influence to be able to do anything back about it. But here's the thing, is that, like, I have large crowds on every platform. So I'm not going to delete those platforms. I'm going to use them to make sure that you don't get reelected. We're going to cut you right off at the primaries. People from all across the world have sure all across this country watch me, dog, and I have a list of how every single one of you voted on this TikTok ban, and you are now my personal enemy. You sold out the American people who put you in a place of authority, and you tried to undermine their right, their constitutional right to freedom of speech, because you are a greedy, conniving rat. And we're not just going to take that sitting down. And I know I'm Irish, which means that I can be a little bit long-winded, so let me just wrap it up with this. Fix this now or you're fired.
I don't blame people for their reactions. Congress is supposed to represent the states of like the entire people and what the entire people want and think, but they are only going off of what either lobbyists with money are telling them to go for, or possibly something else, I'm not sure, because this is exactly against what Americans really want. They want to be able to keep TikTok. There's also now talks of the Biden administration leaving it up to Trump's administration to deal with if they will ban TikTok or not. I think that's probably what should be done here, as big decisions like this happening the day before he is back into office is kind of sketchy. And what's the point if he's just going to overturn it within a day or less? You know what I mean? So it's just, there's not really much point of it. I'm not going to lie, I started thinking about it and I realized like there's a lot of cool people and a lot of cool content on TikTok. And it's really like, I feel like if we never had TikTok, we wouldn't be as creative and funny as we are now. It's like when something is gone and you realize how good it was. But in this situation, TikTok isn't even gone yet. I'm still like reminiscing on how good it has been in the past. The Chinese government can honestly have whatever they got, and a lot of people have said the same exact thing, and they just don't really care. They would rather have TikTok than, you know, have their data to themselves at this point. People who are getting paid on TikTok have already given so much information to them and have already put so much trust in TikTok that it probably doesn't matter anymore, like, especially to those people. And also, if you haven't put much information into TikTok, does it really matter that much? Also, if they were bad and stole data, what's the worst that they can do with it other than possibly causing a war if they did anything, like, extremely malicious with it? Which I don't think anyone would do, because I don't think any country truly does want to go to war. Honestly, no other app like TikTok, Instagram Reels, Twitter, and YouTube, all those apps are different in their own ways, and that's, of course, a good thing, but there is no other app really exactly like TikTok, and if there is, it's just not as great and not as trustworthy. So in the process, or throughout the entire day of Friday, is the day that I've been finalizing this video, I've had to remake this outro several times because the original outro didn't know or wasn't aware of the Supreme Court actually upholding or supporting the ban of TikTok. And there's also now more stuff coming out now, such as a TikTok tweet, or a tweet from TikTok themselves, and it says, statement on possible shutdown. The statements issued today by both Biden White House and the Department of Justice have failed to provide the necessary clarity and assurance to the service providers that are integral to maintaining TikTok's availability to over 700 million Americans. Unless the Biden administration immediately provides a definitive statement to satisfy the most critical service providers assuring non-enforcement, unfortunately TikTok will be forced to go dark on January 19th. Now, of course, originally I thought like you can just use a VPN. You probably still can use a VPN to get around it. But I thought like even if you had it downloaded, you would still be able to use the app. And if it just like needed a bunch of updates, then at some point the app would just not really work that well anymore. Hopefully that's just the case, because Trump himself said like on Truth Social that in the very near future we are going to be getting a statement from him, and he's going to be also calling China and talking about the TikTok ban, and he's also going to have the CEO of TikTok at his inauguration, which is a good step in the right direction probably if you want to have TikTok on the or in the US. And I think what they're going to do is that they're just going to immediately talk and try to figure this out immediately. I hope that's true, but honestly, as someone that's listened to Ye and has seen the entire Playboy Cardi fan base wait forever for certain announcements, it kind of just sucks to kind of hear like not a certain date or like very near future. You know what I mean? Like it just feels so uncertain that like we'll actually have an answer soon, I feel. But I think more than anything, Trump is going to be asked this so much that at some point he will have to respond. Like at any press conference he does or whatever, he's going to be asked about the TikTok ban. So I think we will get an answer sooner because he's going to kind of be forced to talk to the public, and he's very active on both Twitter and Truth Social. But it just kind of sucks that we have some uncertainty. I wish he would actually say like an exact answer. Like, yeah, we will have it unbanned by Wednesday or something. And to be honest, I used to be very confident. I used to be very confident that TikTok wasn't going to get banned. And now the more and more that comes out, the less and less confident I get. And really, the more and more sadder I get because TikTok's been a great app. And they want to act like it's Chinese spyware and stuff, but like it's not. And they try to act like it's Chinese propaganda as well. Like they try to show stuff like that. I don't think anyone really has Chinese propaganda on their like posts, like unironic Chinese propaganda. And it's just insane. And they act like Facebook isn't worse, and they act like Facebook like doesn't do that at all. And they all go buy stock in Facebook and all support Facebook, but Facebook's probably worse because I can literally search up something, or I can talk about something that I want, or someone with the same like under the same phone plan or under the same Wi-Fi will look up something and it'll pop up on your computer, or it'll pop up on your phone as a recommendation. Like it's so much more invasive, but apparently TikTok is the problem because they're Chinese. It's just so weird to me. I know that we don't have like a good relationship with them, but this is just the worst situation possible. And the people that are supposed to represent our states aren't representing us properly. And it's the most sad and pathetic thing I've ever seen. And it's so depressing as well because like to some people it's just an app, and some people just use it for entertainment. But like for others, it's like their entire job. And also, speaking of those people, are those people going to be getting paid? I don't know if TikTok pays weekly, if it pays daily, if it pays every 2-3 days, if it pays once a month. But honestly, I'm very curious. And if you know, let me know in the comments down below. And let me know how it will affect you if you get paid off of TikTok. Because do these people still get paid from all the work that they've done this month or in the past few days or whatever? Or is that money going to be locked? Because if that money is locked, then there is billions of dollars going to be, tens of billions of dollars maybe, going to be stuck in TikTok or held, frozen, because America or the government thinks of it as Chinese spyware. It's kind of insane to like ironically or unironically think that way. Like to me, it's just weird because even if it is like the American people don't care, like they're like, I'd rather just have TikTok. And I agree. Whatever data they have, they can have it, unless it causes a war or something. I might have said that earlier in the video. I can't remember exactly where I've cut off. But this is just such a sucky situation. But let me know how it will be affecting you, the TikTok ban entirely. But let me know your all's thoughts about this in the comments down below and how it will be affecting you, the entire situation, everything. I'm pretty sure people have a lot to say about it. This is my final time making an edit for this video because I have to like actually have this video done at some point, and the longer I wait, the more information is going to come out. And honestly, it all kind of just stays the same. It's just small updates like the Supreme Court upholding the ban, and then also TikTok still thinking they're going to get banned as well. It's just a terrible situation. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure to let me know your all's thoughts in the comments down below about this. How's it going to affect you if you get paid on there? Is your account going to be frozen? Like or your like payments can be withheld? Let me know. Thank you all for watching. I'll keep you all updated in the next couple of days because I think we'll have an answer by at least a week from now. But I plan on doing some bigger videos, like some bigger update videos on people, like I have been saying, and hopefully this is just one of the videos for the week, and hopefully another one in the next few days if we get some actual decent updates, but we'll just have to see. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for support. Make sure to follow my Twitter as it's linked in the description below. Like and subscribe as I'll be updating you all on this and making other videos. And in the end, I'm PERK30, and keep God close.